Hello, universe. I'm back, and I'm better than ever. Got a neck. I'm not as tired anymore. Strangely enough, I came back from doing the presentation and probably went to sleep for about 4 hours. I did not get on the elliptical before I went to sleep. I was too obliterated. So, I got up and decided I should do this. Presentation went pretty good. I'm pretty hard on myself when it comes to presentations. If things aren't perfect, I got a decent amount of stuff done, but once again, I didn't get the entire PowerPoint completed. I did not even get as far as I mentioned to you yesterday that I wanted to get. The graphics elements that I was working on, excuse me, with, excuse me, the graphics elements that I was working on with the pictures of candy and all that stuff I mentioned to you. I think I mentioned it to you yesterday or earlier today or whatever. Those elements were very time consuming. By the time it was all said and done, I didn't have time to finish it. Now, one good thing did come from it, or did come before the presentation happened, and I have those so I could show you. I think I remember mentioning in one of the previous CVs that I ordered some shirts for my company through this place. And I was going to wait until I saw how the product turned out before I gave them a shout out or shared my views on the experience. So I got 3 different shirts. I'm going to show it to you quickly. Shirt number 1. And there's my company name, Snack Mania Vens. Got that one. Got this one. And reverse side. And then my favorite color, my power color. And this is really the one I was the most interested in seeing what it looked like, because this is my favorite color. Snack Mania Vens. So, needless to say, the shirts came out excellent. Very excited about the shirts. They did a great job. Well worth the money. If I had ordered them online, they would have been roughly about the same, and I would have not had the patches on the back with the larger text versions of my logo, or even the colors that I wanted. So, the company is called The Trophy Case. And they are in Huntsville, Texas. Huntsville, Texas. I highly recommend their service. They got me turnaround in a week, and they got me shirts at what I feel is a very reasonable price considering how much they could have cost. Very, very satisfying. I got 6 shirts, and you have to consider labor when you're doing things like this. I got 6 shirts, 3 XLs, which is what I fortunately now wear, along with one team member, and one of the other team members, Bill, he's actually a little more jacked, so he wears double XL. So, as a result of that, I got 6 shirts, 3 of XL, 3 of double XL, 1 in each color. And they look great. It cost me around $35 for the 3 XLs a piece, and around $37 for the double XLs a piece. But they did it, and I could not be happier. The trophy case in Huntsville, Texas, if you need embroidery or silk screening work, once again, not a sponsor, just a shout out because I'm so happy. As you already know from watching this channel, I don't do monetized videos, not at this point. If it gets to a place where I'm getting tons of views, I might do that. But right now, I think it's just picking for pennies, and I would rather people stay and watch and participate in things like this, or make comments about other things. The video, only a couple of videos that I've had out there that I could have monetized. I'm not ready to monetize videos right now. I don't care about the money aspect of this, so I'm not going to worry about it. That's really neither here nor there. So, I got the shirts, great motivator and inspiration right before we went off to the presentation, especially considering the PowerPoint wasn't as completely done. So Roy wore the yellow, I wore my favorite color, the blue, and Bill wore the red. And it looked great. They looked uniform and quality. And the thing about these shirts too that I want to point out is they're really soft. Like even the shirts you can buy at Walmart for like $10, which you would think would be fairly lightweight because, you know, it's only $10. These are softer than those. And these have embroidery on them. Now keep in mind, they had to replace the ink every time they made a new pattern. So for the blues, they could keep the same ink because it's yellow and red. But when they went to the red shirt, they had to do yellow and blue. So they had to change the color palette. And that's a switch out every time. Plus the stitching and all that. It really adds up to a place where I think it was more than reasonable. As a matter of fact, I think I got a better deal than they did. But they're in a business to make money. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad they made their money. I think it was, let's put it this way, I wouldn't have had a problem paying $40 a shirt considering the quality of those shirts. That's how strong and solid of a job they did. So, the trophy case, Huntsville, Texas. If you're in this area or you're just looking to get something like that done, search them up. I think their phone number is 936-291-7407. Pretty sure that's right. No. 7747. 936-291-7747. Greg and Carrie are the people I worked with, but everybody who answered the phone was very polite and professional, but friendly and courteous. So check them out. Anyways, as far as the presentation is concerned, moving back into that, like I told you, I wasn't able to finish the PowerPoint, so I showed as much of it as I could. One of the challenges that I have a lot of trouble overcoming, well, a couple of things. The first thing is, I have a tendency to be, I told you I'm very visual when it comes to design. Well, in this particular situation, it sounds interesting. I'm going to use that word now. I have coined a phrase. In this new situation, wow, that is a really cool word. I like that word, sexuation. That could describe so many things in my past. Okay, what was I talking about? So, damn, I coined a word. That is awesome. By the way, I use the letters, or the acronym TMI before I ever knew that acronym was starting to grow in modern culture. I really did. So, technically in my own mind, I came up with my own TMI before it was released. And I'm not even joking. I never thought I got credit for the national transferring of it, or, explosion of it. But I did think of it before I ever heard it. Anyways, because I love acronyms. So, the presentation, the challenge that I ran into is, I don't really, what even today, excuse me, was that the two people who do the panel, one of them is an employee for the state, and in most cases that person is sighted because they have to be able to drive long distances. The people who operate the facilities in BET can have any level of sight impairment. They could be in a position where they have mild, and with adaptive aids like glasses or whatever, they can drive cars, or they can be, completely blind. Total opposite ends of the spectrum. So the BET rep, the ECM, which is called the Elected Committee of Managers, the regional rep is in the panels too. So it's essentially 2 or 3 people. And one of them is always facing a sight challenge and some kind of past capacity. So, me being very visual makes my PowerPoint presentations a little bit odd, because while I tried to consider the sight issues in this one and make text bigger, that doesn't help if the person's completely, blind. That's why audio is important. So it's a kind of it can be a hit or miss, but I even considered pre-recording the presentation and just playing it, and I think I talked about that, and watching it with them. But after talking to a couple of people, I determined that it wasn't really the best idea to do that, and that it wasn't really within the guidelines of reasonable use. So I did the presentation. The only drawback or critique that I was given was that I have a tendency to talk too fast. Because I'll kind of get in this, like, we could do this. We start it right now today. We go if we could do it, and that's what I do. For some reason, I don't do that as much on here. But I'm sure that was an example. And you can tell that when I speak sometimes, if I get over excited, I tend to go from talking like this to talking like this and really going fast. And sometimes adrenaline pushes me so hard that I do that. So that was the only really major critique. They said they liked the presentation. Everybody in the room thought I had a good flow, that the way I designed it was good, solid. Now I don't know if that means they went off and said, man, that guy sucks. I don't know if they did that or not, but they didn't say that in the room. Now I don't mind brutal truth. I really don't. So I was glad for the feedback. So I don't mind brutal feedback. I don't want it to be, rude and hateful, but I don't mind someone saying, listen, you want the truth? Here's the truth. You talk too fast, and you missed some important points. They said the flow was good, so I'll take their word for it. I'm always more judgmental of my efforts than other people, and the PowerPoint was one of them, but I contemplated not using the PowerPoint at all, but I thought I put so much effort into it, I want to at least show as much of it as I can before I have to pause. And the thing is, I'm going to continue to work on the presentation. Because what will happen is, if I don't get this facility, I'll keep my eye open for other possibilities. And if I have the presentation done, all I have to do is go back in and change the numbers. And then the presentation will be done. I can make it solid, and I won't have to struggle as much the next time if I don't get this facility. If I do, then great. Because if I get this facility, it will most likely be my last BET facility. Because I'm looking at really, I'm looking at a place where, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm looking at a place where I can ultimately move back into media again. Filmmaking, which is one of the things I will use the profits from this to reinvest in. So I really want to get back into media again. So this will most likely be my last BET facility. Most likely. So doing pretty well overall. I'm fairly happy, minus the things I already told you about not having the presentation complete, and really wanting everything to go perfectly, and not really feeling like anything I do is as good as it could be. But that's good because I can always strive for perfection. Any presentation to me is a performance. And as an actor, I'm always making sure that I did the best I could. Because I want to give 110%, as they say, and put forward a good, something that is work with and excites people or inspires them or whatever to put me forward into another league and as a quality presenter or actor, whatever the word may be, or leader. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get off here. It's a good presentation all in all. I do apologize for my rambling, rather loopy video yesterday. It was just the way it was. But I did not want to not make a video. So, there you have it. Take care of yourselves. Have a great evening. Find things that make you, that inspire you to go to the next level. And adore and love the people you have around you. And love yourself. Not in this sexuational type of way, but just love yourself. It's important. Believe in yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. And live with passion. Bye.